You check your bank account on a Tuesday morning, and a familiar sense of confusion washes over you. You make a decent living, and you are not buying expensive jewelry or taking wild trips to Las Vegas. You consider yourself a responsible person who has worked hard for every single cent in your possession. Yet somehow you have exactly $47 left until your next paycheck arrives on Friday. It feels as though you are trying to fill a bucket with water while someone has drilled a dozen tiny holes in the bottom. This is the cold reality of life in 2026. You are being slowly bled to death, $15 at a time, by a subscription economy designed to keep you perpetually broke. Most people today do not even realize they are the victims of the most insidious wealth transfer in modern history. While you are struggling to keep your head above water, the massive corporations are laughing all the way to the bank. Think back to how your parents or your grandparents lived their lives. When they needed a car, they saved up their money and they bought one. They drove that car for 15 years until the wheels practically fell off, and they loved every mile. When they bought a television, they owned that screen until the picture tube finally died of old age. They owned their world, and they had the deeds and titles to prove it. Today, you lease your car, you rent your apartment, you stream your music, and you subscribe to your computer software. You own absolutely nothing. The companies that convinced you this was convenient are the same ones getting rich off your monthly dependence. A recent study from late 2025 tracked thousands of household budgets and found something truly terrifying. While most people think they only spend about $86 a month on subscriptions, the truth is far darker. The average American is now spending over $273 every single month on recurring fees. That is more than $3,200 per year vanishing from your account for services you do not even own. For a household approaching retirement, that $3,000 is often more than they have in their entire emergency savings account right now. You are literally financing the record profits of Silicon Valley while draining your own personal safety net. This is what I call digital feudalism. In the old days, a lord owned the land, and the peasants paid rent just for the right to live and work on it. In 2026, the tech giants are the new lords, and your bank account is the fertile land they are harvesting. The most brilliant part of this scam is that none of these charges feel expensive when they stand alone on a statement. Netflix is only $15. Spotify is $10. Your cloud storage is $3. Each one seems reasonable in isolation, but death by 1,000 cuts is still a very painful death. Let us start with the streaming overload, because this is where most people have completely lost their minds. The average household now pays for over 5 different streaming services at the exact same time. You are paying for Netflix, Disney+, Amazon Prime, Max, and whatever new platform launched this morning. People will spend 30 minutes comparing prices to save $2 on a gallon of milk, yet they sign up for a free trial and forget to cancel it for 2 years. I know people who are getting charged every month for apps they do not even have installed on their phones anymore. The research shows that most people only watch content on 2 of their 5 services in any given month. You are paying for hundreds of hours of mediocre content that you will never have the time to watch. It is like buying 5 bags of groceries every week and throwing 3 of them directly into the trash can. And the quality of the content has dropped significantly, while the prices continue to climb every quarter. But streaming is just the appetizer for this financial feast. Let us talk about the gym membership, which has become a monthly donation to your own sense of guilt. The average membership now costs $70 a month. Industry data shows that the average member visits the gym less than twice per week. Many people never go at all after the first month of January. Psychologically, you do not cancel, because canceling feels like admitting defeat to yourself. It feels like you are giving up on your health and your future self. So you keep the membership as a monthly reminder of your good intentions. You are paying $700 a year for the privilege of feeling bad about yourself every time you see the charge. The fitness industry knows this perfectly, and their entire business model depends on you being too busy to show up. If every member actually used the equipment, the buildings would collapse under the weight of the crowd. Now, let us move to the ultimate subscription trap of 2026, The modern car payment. This is where the middle class is truly being destroyed and disassembled. The average new car payment in America has climbed over $735 per month, and these loans are now stretching out for 7 or even 8 long years. That is not a car purchase anymore. That is a permanent subscription to transportation. You are renting a depreciating asset during the most expensive years of its life. Just as the payments finally end, the dealer convinces you that the technology is outdated and you need the newest model. You trade it in, and the cycle of debt starts all over again. In 2026, we are even seeing car companies charge monthly fees just to use the features already built into the hardware. Do you want your seat to be warm in the winter? That will be $18 a month. Do you want your electric car to accelerate faster on the highway? That is another $50 a month. They are holding the hardware you already paid for hostage behind a digital paywall. They do not want you to own your car, because an owner is a person who has stopped paying them. They want you to be a permanent subscriber to your own driveway. This mentality has trained us to think only in monthly payments instead of total lifetime costs. Your brain processes $15 a month very differently than $1,800 over 10 years. Corporations hire the best psychologists in the world to exploit this specific weakness in human perception. They have convinced a whole generation that ownership is a burden and a hassle. They tell you that maintenance is too difficult and that commitment is limiting to your lifestyle. But here is the truth they hope you never realize. Ownership is the only true freedom. When you own your tools and your assets, you have leverage in a difficult world. When you rent everything, you have nothing but unending obligations. The software industry might be the most predatory of all these modern systems. I remember when you could buy a copy of Microsoft Office or Adobe Photoshop once and use it for a decade. Now you have to pay a monthly ransom just to open your own files and look at your own work. If you stop paying, your years of labor are locked away, and you lose access to your own creativity. Small business owners are now paying thousands of dollars a year for tools they used to own for a one-time fee. Your business essentially pays rent just to exist in the digital world. Even the coffee you drink in the morning has been turned into a subscription service. People now pay $30 a month for a box of coffee beans that costs $10 at the local store. We have outsourced the basic human task of shopping to an algorithm, and we are paying a premium for it. We are raising a generation of people who do not know how to maintain a car or how to save up for a major purchase. They are being trained to be permanent renters of their own lives and their own time. You cannot build wealth when every asset you use belongs to a massive corporation. Every dollar that flows out of your account in a subscription fee is a dollar that could have been building equity for your family. Let us look at the math that will change the way you see your bank statement forever. If you combined your unnecessary streaming services, that unused gym membership, and that massive car payment, you are likely bleeding over $1,000 every month. If you invested that same $1,000 into a basic index fund, like the Standard & Poor's 500, it would grow significantly. With an average return of 7%, that money could grow to over $1.3 million over 30 years. You are literally trading your millionaire status for the convenience of having every single app on your phone. You are choosing to be financially subscribed instead of being financially free. The companies getting rich from your payments understand this concept perfectly. That is why they use your monthly fees to buy real estate, acquire competitors, and build their own empires. They are converting your rental payments into permanent assets, while you accumulate nothing but digital receipts. The subscription economy has weaponized your fear of commitment and turned it into a profit machine. It tells you that you should keep your options open and never settle down. But keeping your options open is exactly what is keeping you poor and vulnerable. Real wealth comes from commitment and the discipline of ownership. It comes from buying a home and staying there to build equity. It comes from buying a reliable car and driving it for a decade without a payment. It comes from owning the tools of your trade so that no one can turn them off if you miss a single payment. Think about your smart home devices that require a monthly cloud subscription just to function. In 2026, even your front door camera and your smart refrigerator are demanding a cut of your paycheck. We are living in an era where you are paying for the right to breathe digital air. Tonight, I want you to sit down with your bank statement and a bright highlighter. Mark every single recurring charge that has hit your account in the last 30 days. Add them all up and multiply that final number by 12. That is the price you are paying for your own dependence and your own lack of control. Look at that number and ask yourself if it is truly worth your freedom and your future. Cancel the services you have not used in the last month without a second thought. Call your insurance company and negotiate a better rate for your loyalty. Stop looking at what the monthly payment is and start looking at the total cost over 10 years. If you cannot afford to buy it twice with cold cash, you cannot afford the subscription. The world in 2026 is meticulously designed to make ownership feel outdated and old-fashioned. But the truly wealthy people of the world are not renting their lives. They are the ones owning the platforms and the hardware that you are subscribing to. It is time to stop being a peasant in their digital kingdom. Start reclaiming your income and your dignity. Start buying things that are built to last and that belong to you. Start building a life that you actually own from the ground up. Your future self will not thank you for having access to 1,000 movies you never watched. But they will thank you for the $1.3 million you saved by choosing freedom over convenience. The choice is yours to make today. But remember that every month you wait is another month you are funding someone else's dream. Stop being a subscriber to your own life. Stop paying for the privilege of existing. Start owning your world again.